So, got a dream message for you all. I was doing some meditation last night, and I knew that Wednesday and Friday I would be having enough time in my day and in my schedule to do readings, and I wanted to put forth the energy. I asked, what messages can I bring forth to the collective? What's something that they need to hear? And interestingly enough, I got these images. I saw my own feet very pale in the snow, and I don't have long black hair. I have short black hair, but I had long black hair, and people kept referring to me as the name Kuan Yin. Now, full disclosure, I don't know a whole lot about who Kuan Yin is. I understand she's a goddess in predominantly the Chinese culture. And in my dream, I walked into a building and there were people there seeking comfort and healing. If you resonate or work with the energies of Kuan Yin, this might be for you. And this led me to do more research on her because the energies I work with differ, but from what I've learned, she is the embodiment of mercy and compassion and healing and kindness, which I think is so beautiful. And the reason why I'm saying this is because just right now in this message to the collective, this might be your message. Maybe Kuan Yin has been tapping your shoulder. Maybe you've been feeling the pull to work with that energy. And so what I got from it was, this feels like a divine feminine reading. It does. So I'm going to start with a goddess power tarot, or rather oracle deck. And again, divine feminine energy does not mean any gender. It means the energy that's connected with divine feminine. So that's intuition, creation, creativity, so on and so forth. So we're just going to go ahead. It does come from a goddess deck, but the messages that I'm going to read from the book, because I'm being told very clearly to read from the book because someone needs to hear the messages from this divine feminine deck. Okay? So if you've not been here before, my name is Angel. I'm an intuitive reader. I do know tarot, but I rely on my own channelings and intuition and messages from the energies that I work with, along with my ancestors and guides. So let's go ahead and get started. I think we'll get 4. And then I will read straight from the book because that is exactly what I'm being told. So first card out, we have Lakshmi, fortune. What a beautiful picture. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put it there. We're going to get 3 more. Oh my goodness. These cards are a little bit too big for my hands. Then we have Branwen, forgiveness. There. Make them not so crooked. Okay. Then we have Demeter, nurturer. I want to say that all of these attributes are words that I saw in the description of Kuan Yin. So again, if that's a confirmation for you, take it. Don't be so crooked. Okay. One more. Oh, well, we've got 2. We've got 2 for 1. And interesting that this one is behind this one. So we have Ma'at, which is truth. But we also have Nyx. This is an energy that I work with. Nyx, about secrets. So right away, this is making me feel about truths that are coming to light. Something that has been hidden away for a really long time. This could be something that maybe you're having a hard time believing for yourself. Maybe this is something that you've kept locked away from other people. Or this could have to do with someone that you are in connection with, that like maybe you don't know everything, the whole story of who they are, what they've gone through, that sort of thing. But there's something about this information coming to life, the truth, because I truly believe that the truth does not stay buried long. Sometimes it takes a while to come out, but the truth always surfaces. And here's a little channel that I got. And this is for those that would remember it. When I was a kid, I used to watch this cartoon called Batman the Animated Series. And there is a character, most people who are familiar with like the MCU and all that kind of stuff know, or rather, not MCU, sorry, DC Comics, know who Poison Ivy is. And Poison Ivy, there was an episode where she was caught and she was put in prison. And one of the things she says is she has a plant with her in the cell, and she says to the plant, no matter how far down they bury us, we will always come back to the surface, or we'll always find our way to the surface. And she says it with absolute conviction, like essentially, no matter how much someone can hold me down, I will always rise. And that's kind of how I feel about the truth. I feel like the truth, no matter how much someone tries to hold it back or to put like smoke and mirrors in front of it, tries to distract from it, or just hold it inside, deep inside, the truth will always want to come out because it's what's balanced. And I do feel like that has a lot to do with what the forgiveness is here for. The nurture and fortune I'm interested in seeing. It almost feels like, and this is just my intuitive read, it almost feels like with whatever information is coming forward, that the divine feminines in my collective either are experiencing themselves, like a truth that they're realizing within themselves, or those that they're connected with, like maybe there is someone in your life that you're going to learn the truth of what really, something that they've kept really deep down, likely because of shame or worried that you would push them away, but the truth is going to bubble up. And I think this is why I was having that dream about Kuan Yin being like the embodiment of mercy and healing and kindness, because we have nurturer here. It feels like someone, it does feel like someone else. I keep saying it could be you, and it could, it could. If it resonates, then take it. But as I've said before, don't do the mental gymnastics. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. This feels like someone who has something maybe in their past, or something that they've done or said, or just maybe something they don't feel comfortable sharing, feelings, emotions, experiences that they've kept under wraps, but they're finally coming out and telling the truth. Or rather, you get like maybe an intuitive hit, and this energy is a little bit nervous about wanting to kind of be open about that truth. But again, I keep looking at this nurture card, like they couldn't disclose this information to a more supportive person. This is what it feels like. Only if it resonates. Do not force it to fit. There is forgiveness here. So likely whatever happened here directly affected the divine feminines of my collective. And I'm not saying that you weren't hurt, but I do feel like you recognize everyone is fighting their own battles. And so there's grace and forgiveness. That doesn't mean you're going to allow people to walk all over you, but you can take someone's truth and their apology and their reality, observe it, respect it, understand it, accept the forgiveness, but you can still hold strong boundaries. And I love this Lakshmi card, this fortune card. Okay, that's enough about my rambling. Let me go ahead and read you from the book, because again, like I said, I was told we got to do it from the book, so I'm going to do that. So starting with Nyx 39, we have a message of empowerment. There are times when you must surrender your need to know. Some things open only when they choose to, not by demand. The mysterious and unknowable domain of the Greek goddess Nyx. She shows you the veil that may not part for you at this time. Right now, you're meant to keep on your path, trusting that secrets will be revealed as the goddess Nyx decides. Remain true in your intentions and keep on moving forward, remaining curious and open to whatever you discover. Allow your need to know the details right now to fall away, and just be present to all that life is offering you. Judge nothing as good or bad, and just be with what arises. Soon the treasure you seek will be revealed, and it will be better and more valuable than you could have ever imagined. The goddess Nyx knows what's best for you. Trust, and all will be revealed in time. Now I'm going to go, there's two messages here, so I'm going to read the alignment message. This might be a little bit of a longer read, but for my divine feminines in my collective, I really feel like you want to hear it. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it. The alignment message is the goddess of the night, mystery and secrets, Nyx, asks you to asks yourself a deep question about denial. What secrets have you kept from yourself? Could you be remaining in a relationship that isn't working for you because you won't address the fear of what happens if you leave or do things differently? Have you been afraid to ask what you need? Are you in an addictive spiral, thinking one more bite of food or one more glass of wine will make me feel better? Whatever it is that you're refusing to face, the goddess Nyx promises if you do, you'll be amazed at the beauty of your liberation and power. She offers you this alignment task for you to engage in rigorous honesty and self-evaluation, coupled with fierce self-love and commitment to growth. Be optimistic, because the moment you are willing to name your unease and claim your inner peace, strength, and hope, you can do it. I love that message. That's beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to Ma'at. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, can someone put it in the comments to the correct pronunciation? Okay, so from Ma'at, the empowerment message is, there is great power in telling the truth and allowing it to lead you to higher ground. Remember, I was talking about that poison ivy. No matter how someone tries to hold you down, you will always rise. You will come to the surface, okay? It's only when we refuse to see the reality of a situation that we lose our power to co-create for the highest good. The Egyptian goddess Ma'at comes to remind you that if you are willing to do a fearless self-inventory and live authentically with rigorous honesty, it will lead you to great success in all areas of your life. Being completely transparent with others, although it might at first feel too vulnerable, it is exactly what you need to do right now. When you do this, you will be flooded with the power to claim and experience a new freedom and happiness that will pour over your life like a wild and sweet honey. Your life is exactly where it needs to be. This is a wonderful time of empowerment and choice making. You are doing all the right things if you follow the invitation of Ma'at to live fearlessly in the truth. As the arbiter of balance and divine order, she reminds you of the great value of this way of being. So the alignment message is, the law of karma states that everything comes into balance sooner or later. Again, remember I was talking about how truth can only be buried for so long until it rises to the top, because it is balanced. So the law of karma states that everything comes into balance sooner or later. So trust that in the greater story of your life, all wrongs will get righted. The goddess Ma'at appears with her scales of justice and the feather of truth. Ooh, I heard the scales of justice. This is Libra energy. So if you, my divine feminines, resonate with Libra energy, or you're connected with someone who is a Libra, this might be a point of a resonance for you. The goddess Ma'at appears with her scales of justice and the feather of truth to remind you that you are seeing only one moment in time. The balance of events tip both ways until it comes into coherence and the harmony of the universe. Regardless of this natural rebalancing, it's time to speak up. Speak up if you see injustice in the world. Ma'at says in order for you to truly be free, everyone must be free. She offers you the enlightenment task of considering where you are and where you may have hurt someone else, and how your unconscious projection of how the world should be may have set you up for a transgression, even if you were innocent. This is a time, in that moment where she says we're a moment of transgression, even if you're innocent, for me, that what it really sounds like, it's like when you carry trauma in yourself, and you don't mean to hurt other people, but you do, with your stereotypes or your biases, or even like when you grow up in your family and you have like a hard family life or a difficult, strained relationship with your family, you may not realize how you move through the world or relationships or friendships or where it could be injuring people. It's like, I'm hearing that saying, if you don't take the time to heal the wound in yourself, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. You see what I'm saying? It says, "This is a time of great unraveling, and nothing meaningful will be accomplished without effort. Another message for you is to see behind Another message for you is to see behind the words of others, especially when you feel that they may be withholding the truth or acting without awareness. It's important not to enable this. Tell the truth with as much love as you can, even though denial may be swept away in an awkward moment and everyone feels exposed. It's an important way to move forward with compassion. The goddess Ma'at reminds you that she is a champion for those willing to course correct and gives you her full support." Okay. Okay, next one we have is Demeter, the nurturer. Giving to others is a wonderful feeling. When you have a healthy sense of yourself, you want to share your love, your inspiration, and experience, and the exchange feels clean. Your boundaries are fluid yet strong. The Greek goddess of grain, motherhood, and harvest, Demeter, reminds you that the harvest is meant to be shared. You've now tapped into her nurturing love, which is abundant, and your well-meaning gestures will be received with gratitude in some way and in some ways returned to you tenfold. Now is the time to nourish yourself. Forgiving must be balanced by receiving. Allow yourself to feel how the universe is like a wonderful nurturing mother that is always there when you need her. Demeter says to trust you are loved and cared for all day, every day, for all time, especially now. And the alignment message is, do you sometimes overgive to people until you're an empty well? Perhaps you've attracted others who are needy and want you to look after them. Or you might be in a pattern of people pleasing because you're afraid to set boundaries. There's a sticky quality to connections based on this need to be needed. Although the possible repercussions for setting boundaries are in your mind, your body holds on to fear tightly, so it can be scary to make change. No one wants to admit that they are manipulative or that they're codependent, but it's important to be honest about where you find yourself now. Demeter knows the price of this way of being, as it caused her to lose something dear to her. Now she has come to show you another way. Your alignment task is to recognize that it is time to step back, to take a breath, to say no to behaviors and people you know are draining you. It's that simple. The divine is the one with the plan. Gather your love and your nourishment and your self-worth. Choose how you nurture and how you want to receive it. You are so loved when the goddess Demeter brings you her nurturing energy to help you course correct. All right, now we're going to go to Branwen. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not pronouncing that name right, please say it in the comments and put in the actual phonetic spelling, because I don't want to look like a fool out here. Branwen. Sometimes life invites us into conditions that challenge us to the core. As the Celtic goddess Branwen forgave those who caused her own death by a broken heart, she asks you to set yourself free from the seeds of resentment that will surely choke the life out of your dreams. We are wounded by others, and we've stories about our hurts and losses that live on in our hearts and our minds. We come to distrust the potential of love and connection, no matter what your story or when it began. Forgiveness is the key to freedom here. Forgiveness allows for mending and repairing, opening the heart to give and receive. If you need to forgive yourself or another, now is the time to do it. Keep your heart open, and you can begin again. Only beauty, freedom, and treasures are found in the spirit of forgiveness. The goddess Branwen is here to support you. Alignment messages. Sometimes we unintentionally cause pain or hurt to others, right? If you don't heal the wound that you have, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. Now is the time for self-inventory and making amends. Okay, let me just stop right now. This is the third card that has spoken on self-inventory. My divine feminines, you you may be at the point of doing some sort of deep shadow work. Maybe you might even be in dark night of the soul, but you're starting there's this dark night of the soul and recognizing truths. You might be at that point where you're like, okay, now I get it. These are the areas in which I excel, and these are the areas that I need work, that I need attention, that needs love, that needs honesty and truth, and really removing maybe some unhelpful social structures that you gain from family, from friends, from media, or whatever it is that holds you back. Okay. Now's the time for self-inventory and making amends. Your alignment task is to be 100% accountable for your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, motives, and actions. You are not doing this, however, to experience forgiveness from someone or even yourself. It's to have the strength and fortitude to be accountable and take responsibility for your actions. In this way, neither guilt nor shame can take root in your heart. You stand empowered and humble, with your head held high no matter the consequences. You will always be the beneficiary of such an act. The goddess Branwen says deep healing comes from this kind of courage and respect. I love that ending part, where it's when you recognize where you excel and where you deeply need some work, and you recognize that with just open, honest eyes, like guilt and shame can't touch you, because it's like you are having a very human experience. And in the most naked and truthful moments of your life, you're looking at yourself or how you treat others or how someone may be treating you and saying, this is acceptable, this is not. And simply by making those decisions, you can choose, okay, now I recognize this is what I want and this is what I absolutely don't want in my behavior, from other people, from situations, and now I will act accordingly. It's a simple matter of, as they say in the cards, course correcting, recognizing where the change needs to happen and doing it, not saddling yourself with a bunch of guilt and a bunch of shame and fear. It's like, okay, so maybe I've not been the best in this area, but now I'm going to take control of I've got the proverbial reins in my hand, and I'm going to course correct. I'm going to change. Simple as. Good for you. Okay, so now Lakshmi. So 27. Okay, so the empowerment message. When the Hindu goddess Lakshmi comes to visit, she heralds a celebration of your purpose, wisdom, and compassionate prosperity. All your experiences and all your skills are rich with meaning and purpose. As a result, you can expect to see evidence of this wealth in the world around you. You have the ability right now to create great success in your life, and what you have to offer has exalted value. The goddess of luck and prosperity says it's time to share your good fortune with others, and she will show you how it multiplies when you apply gratitude, praise, and a commitment to serve. It is a material success. If it's a material success you intend, you shall co-create it. If it's a rich relationship life, you will attract and develop it. You are a magnet for miracles. Nothing is out of reach when the goddess Lakshmi comes calling. I want to say this really feels like a journey. And if you do that self-work, if you do that inner self-inventory, as they say, and or you can see someone else that's connected to you, again, Libra energy, I forget where it was. Libra energy. If it's you or someone else, you may be recognizing this about yourself, or you could be recognizing this in someone. And when you go through this kind of like journey, this deep shadow work, this self-awareness, this self-reflection, then you can accept abundance as it's what she's talking about. This is what it's about. You can receive the abundance that's been waiting in the wings for you. The only thing that was blocking it was you. So, alignment message. Have you ever fallen prey to the idea that someone might take away what's yours? Or perhaps you think someone else's success or happiness means that there will be less for you? You might not be conscious of this, but you feel that there is not enough to go around. Not enough love, not enough money. You worry about growing old and missing out and struggling for the resources you misperceive as limited. You might also feel miserably and You might also feel miserly and stingy, afraid to share in case there will be nothing left. The goddess Lakshmi says this kind of thinking must go if you want to live a rich and vibrant life. Your alignment task is to stop and be mindful of the direction of your thoughts and reframe them to focus on what you truly intend. Repeat the mantra, what is mine will not go past me. What is mine will not go past me. When you feel the green gremlin of envy creep into your heart, bless the other person and say, that which I desire is also for me. Your true limitations are only on what you set for yourself. I just said the only boundary to abundance and growth and like raising your energy is yourself. You're the first roadblock. Your limitations are only what you set for yourself. Don't let your conditioned mind or faulty beliefs rule your life. Break free. The world is unlimited if you let yourself open to the wealth of your imagination. I love this. These were a wonderful set of cards. Now, I apologize if it was a little lengthy for some people, but if you're still here, this message is likely for you. So we're just going to dive into tarot because this is what I would call foundation. This is what's kind of going on in your life. And with the tarot cards, I'm going to kind of, pardon me, I just kicked something under my desk. With the tarot, I'm going to kind of clarify like what the situation might be in real time. These are themes that are kind of in your energy right now. They're likely coming to pass. So again, if you are a Libra, or if you're dealing with a Libra, if the energy that's around you, around the person that you're dealing with, has a lot to do with like maybe undisclosed truths or unconfessed feelings or unspoken on shames or guilts or regrets, those things are coming to light because we hear it all the time as a cliche, the truth will set you free. Okay? And when you're doing that, when you're able to forgive and move on and forgive yourself, forgive others, and recognize, hey, I've got some places where I excel and some places I need some work on, that's when true abundance can come in, because you're looking at yourself objectively and saying, hey, I'm not judging myself as a bad person just because I need work in this area. I can look at it objectively and say, yeah, no, this is not the best and I need some work. So let's get to it, right? That's when the abundance can start coming in. So now that we have like a basic energy that's kind of floating around you, collective, or those that you're connected with, let's get some cards. All right, so Spirit, what is a message, a more direct and more detailed message about this energy that we have laid out here for us today? We have the Emperor. This is someone who's standing in their power, or someone who wants to stand in their power. Now, interesting that I kind of double backed and said who wants to stand in their power. The Emperor is the energy of someone. Well, first of all, let's be real. The Emperor is in the encompassment of all king energy. The King of Swords, the King of Cups, the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles. This is grounded energy. This also speaks of fire energy. This resonates to me as Aries. But it doesn't have to be Aries. It could simply be a fire sign. So right now I'm getting a lot of, so we had Libra, what I felt intuitively, and now I'm getting intuitively fire signs. So with Libra, that could be a sun, moon, rising, maybe even a stellium. Same thing with the Aries energy here, or fire sign energy. So that could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But those could be your sun, moon, rising, or stelliums as far as energies that go in this. But what I'm feeling is there is untapped potential here. I feel like somebody wants to be in their Emperor energy. That is like in control, structured, planning, protective, but also kind, intuitive. It is the ultimate culmination of all the kings. So there's something about whoever is in this energy, and I'm going to keep saying whoever because I don't know if it's for you, collective, or it's for the person, but I do know that this reading is meant to be heard by the Divine Feminine Collective. That much I know. Someone wants to be in their power. I feel like you all are on the edge, whoever this is, are on the precipice, on the edge of achieving it. But just, I'm hearing it's the darkest before the dawn. There's some action that needs to be taken. It likely has to do with this secrets, this undisclosed energy or information that needs to come to light that will help balance us out. That's what it is. Okay. So this energy is helping me understand with that Libra energy, these undisclosed truths, this unprofessed love, this secret that you've been keeping inside, this shame or guilt that you hold upon your soul or the person you're dealing with, that is holding this energy back. The truth will set you free. No matter how far down you bury the feeling, the confession, the truth, it always comes to the surface because truth is balanced. You have to practice forgiveness, and then the abundance comes in. So we're talking about balance. The emperor is the balance of all kings, the king of logic, the king of intuition and love, the king of action, the king of stability. All of those things are waiting in the wing for whoever this is for. But it's contingent on being absolutely honest with yourself. That's what it feels like. Again, this could be you, my collective, or this could be the person you're connected with. But already we've got Libra and Aries, so let's keep going. Oops, I had my cards upside down. Okay, we're being a little fussy. I'm going to cut the deck and pull from the top. Knight of Swords. This truth is, whatever this truth is, whatever that's being unearthed is going to be happening quick. And I also feel like not only is it happening quick, it might be, take this as it resonates, it might be that not only is this truth being unearthed quickly, but it might be a little brash. It might be a little rushed. It might be even a little crude in the sense that maybe you don't even hear it directly from yourself. It's like a sudden realization where I know that I've had that, where I've had a moment to myself where I'm like, well, damn, Angel, that's effed up. And I recognize something about myself. I'm like, I need to change that. Like, it isn't, I'm sorry, collective, but it isn't like a truth revelation that is easy, that is like gentle illumination of the truth. No, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, or the person you're connected to. It's that truth, that need to disclose, that need to bring it forth, that confession that needs to be, that confession that needs to be made, the need to come clean. And I keep saying need or want or whatever. So you or your person may be wanting, like the truth is on the tip of the tongue for someone who may need to disclose a truth or provide information. But if it's about inner truth, you might be on the precipice, that dark night of the soul, the moment in which you finally, it all kind of, all the facades, all the armor, all the masks that you wear finally fall away, and you can actually see yourself standing proverbially nude and being like, oh, okay, I get it. That was rough. It was a rough realization, but you have it, and it's going to lead you to being more balanced. So apologies for that, but that's how it's coming out. This truth realization is going to basically come to you or your person or the people that you're connected to like a ton of bricks. Then we have Knight of... Oh, I love this. Oh, I love it. So this Emperor energy is a goal, right? This is being balanced, being strong, standing in your power, very fiery and taking action. And this truth is going to be disclosed or found out or brought to light by you or the people that you're connected with, your person. It's not going to be a super gentle truth. It'll be like a ton of bricks, or like someone will call you and just be like, I need to talk to you. And they just blah, just say the truth, and you were just not expecting it. But that was needed so that this person, you, the people you're connected to, or your person, needs to do that, needs to get it off their chest, needs to have that moment of realization within yourself so that you can start moving forward. It's going to be a slow process. It's not going to be rushed. And I want to make sure I say it's going to be a slow process. It's not going to be rushed. Not that it's slow and it's tedious and you're never going to get there. No, it's slow because it can't be rushed. This kind of building your abundance, this kind of recognition, this kind of self-inventory, as they say, is not something that you can just do over like some sort of sign-up getaway weekend for like self-help. No, I'm saying you can't go for a weekend getaway and feel like all of your inner traumas, wounds, and, structures that have been put upon you, your armor, your mask, everything that you've done to keep you from seeing your real self, your real truth, and then working through the things that you need to. That's not going to be healed in a weekend. You need to take the time to do it, because it's like building a house. You can't rush the foundation, or you're going to have a faulty. It's like building a house in a deck of cards. Sorry, I keep jumping around, but I'm hearing all these. Was it analogies or metaphors? I don't know what the right terminology is, but one of those. So it can't be rushed. And I'm hearing it won't be rushed. It needs to take time. It needs time to build, because you gotta put roots in the ground. You gotta let it grow. You gotta lay the foundation. You gotta pour the concrete. You've got to build the structure of the house before you put up drywall and doing the whole thing. It's a process, but it leads to abundance. Okay, then we have Six of Swords. Yes. This is change. This is movement. My collective, this is movement. 2 cards of movement. We have one that starts off slow, and then we have the Six of Swords, which is, to me, a faster moving energy. So it's almost like you're gaining steam. You're gaining steam over time. Like the beginning of after you've recognized or accepted the truth from someone, or heard an information, or they disclosed a confession, or you realize something about yourself, whatever the situation is. Once that comes to light, the initial steps to move on from then, and I don't mean move on as in move away from the situation, but move on as in the next step, the next leg of the journey is to heal, to accept, to identify what needs to change, and what, like, again, celebrating where you excel, but also recognizing what needs to change. That can be in yourself, in a friendship, in a love relation. Recognize where you all understand each other and excel and gel, and then understand what needs work, and then putting forth the effort in a real way. That takes time to kind of get started. Might be a little awkward at first, a little slow going, but you take the time, because then you'll start gaining speed, and you will really see movement in your own healing. For some of you, it might even be actually moving for whatever reason, to whatever place. This is inner growth, as well as, for some, literal movement. Maybe you'll be moving jobs, or moving house, or changing relationship statuses, Okay, then we have the Nine of Wands. Yes, it's not going to be easy. And here's the thing. I've said this in a reading before, where you can recognize a path. You can go a path that you've always gone, and you can navigate that path that you know, because you've traveled that way before. You have the map, you know the streets, you know when to turn right, you know where the stop signs are and the yield signs are, but it's not one that ever leads to where you want to be. It always seems to kind of loop around, and you're going through the same path over and over again, right? Or you can decide to take the path that's been calling you, the path that you're not sure if it's going to be easy or hard. And here's a spoiler alert and plot twist. Any path that you take is never going to be 100% easy. That's just real. I'm just being honest with you. That doesn't mean it's going to be riddled with challenges, but what it does mean with this Nine of Wands, it means there's going to be moments where you will be faced with some of your own shadows. You're going to have to persevere and be strong enough to be like, look, I know that when I'm presented with this situation, I often fall back out of fear or shame or guilt or worry, or, the uncertainty makes me anxious. But this is about perseverance. This is about keeping the motivation, the movement going, keeping your motivation, and recognizing that when you reach these proverbial challenges, these proverbial bumps in the road, a lot of the time they're tests to whether or not you have overcome your own shadows, or for someone else, a test for your person or a friend or a collective that really tests them to be like, if this is something that you want, if you really want to live free or live an abundant life, you have to let go of your preconceived notions, of the mask, of the armor, and you will be confronted with things that will test you to make sure, have you healed enough? Do you love yourself enough to want to take the risk or take the uncertain step towards abundance? Or are you going to fall back and go back to that looping path that leads you always, like, again, you know that path, you know that road, you know every turn, you know the map, you know the street names, everything. But it never leads you to where you want to really go, which could be success in job, monetary abundance, emotional abundance, love, connection, whatever it is. This situation here hasn't brought you where you want to be. You can keep doing it. It's your choice, or you can choose a different way. And a different way does mean you have to kind of navigate through the brambles. You have to walk through uncharted territory. And when you're walking through uncharted territory, for those that it resonates, if you love hiking, which I feel like some of you do, have you ever gone on a really lovely hiking path and you see like this vista point while you're hiking? You're like, that's beautiful. But no matter how many times you walk this particular trailed, walk, it never takes you to that vista point. You can see it from afar and you're like, well, it's nice to look at, but this trail that I know, like the back of my hand, never takes me there. Or there are some people that are like, hey, I know a back path that's less traveled and it takes you right to this beautiful vista point. And then there's a path going down the mountain from there. But in order to get to that vista point, you kind of have to go uphill. You might slip a little. You might scrape your knee. It's tiring. It challenges you to kind of go off-roading, so to speak. But you get to that vista point and it's gorgeous. And once you're at that vista point, oh, look, there's a path back down the hill. That's the path that you need to go to enjoy that moment. I hope that was an okay analogy, but that's kind of what I felt. For those who are outdoorsy, it feels like kind of off-roading a little bit to get to that beautiful, like, scenic clearing, or to see the mountain more clearly, to see the majesty and the beauty when you trust the process and you are, off-roading, so to speak. It is resilience. Trusting in yourself to keep persevering, even if sometimes it gets difficult. That does not mean that your path is going to be riddled with challenges, as I said. It just means it's not going to be a cakewalk. There are going to be some wonderful points here. There are going to be some wonderful points, but, those wonderful points are going to be punctuated by the test to make sure that you love yourself, that you're ready to trust yourself, that you're strong enough to move to the next chapter or move to the next level, so to speak. Okay, so then we have the Hierophant. Yes. Okay, for some, this is 100% about spiritual enlightenment. My divine feminines, this dark night of the soul that I feel like you all are going through is quite literally leading to a spiritual enlightenment. Really tapping into your abilities, really tapping into your life path, understanding that you are sacred and sovereign. Like high priestess energy. And for others, this is about relationships. This is about connecting with that relation, however it is. I'm not going to say who, because only you can tell only you know who that person is in your life. It could be a deep love. It could be a soulmate, twin flame, red thread of fate. Any of those words work fine as long as it resonates with you, because again, only you can tell yourself who that is, what that person means to you. Sorry, I'm getting stumbly over my words, but for some it is about straight up spiritual enlightenment, recognizing that you have a life path. You recognize where your abilities, where your skills can help others, or to uplift others, or give a voice to others, to help heal yourself and those around you. And for some, it is about a relationship. It is about the quintessential two people coming together in a balance and really growing that relationship, trusting that relationship, it being spiritually connected. And I said, like, high priestess energy, and I didn't say that by off chance. It's because she is a spiritual match to the Hierophant. When those two come out, it generally means, like, for those that it resonates, twin flames or soulmate, divine counterparts, red thread of fate. Okay, let's get some more cards. Okay, so then we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is comfortable with their emotions. comfortable with how they feel, are open, like an open book when it comes to their heart. They're diplomatic. I say diplomatic, and I'm hearing Libra energy again. So Aries and Libra energy seem to be showcased in this reading for me as an intuitive reader. But again, King of Cups is comfortable in their emotion. They can speak on their emotion. They can express their emotions. They are diplomatic. They are kind. They are highly intuitive. All of this means that this path that you're traveling, my divines, or someone that you're connected with that you recognize, you hear this, you're like, oh, this sounds like so-and-so. They're well on their way to some sort of breakthrough, some sort of realization, some sort of moment in time where maybe they take a gasp, like, oh my, this makes sense. It finally makes sense. Like, it all kind of comes together. Now, what you do from that point, it is some work. You've got to put the work in for yourself and or for those around you and or for your partner, or with your partner rather. But it is about some sort of deep realization, coming to truth and recognizing that, working with that energy, moving forward in that energy, whether or not it's spiritual alignment or a connection with the person. The most important aspect of that is doing that self-inventory to become balanced, to become whole on your own, and then coming to union with someone. If this is for those who, resonate with it being romantically. Now, so I'm going to close out with a couple of cards. It's just things that you might be dealing with right now that this reading would apply. Okay? Okay, so we have I should have been done, dragging on already over denial. So this is, I'm hearing the shoulda, woulda, couldas. Part of this dark night of the soul is kind of recognizing that we're living by other people's parameters. And that shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of energy, that regret energy, I should have done more, I should have said more. I feel like a lot of that time comes from what other people expect of us and or tell us we need to be at a certain time. So you're like, I should have taken that job. I should have already been married by now. I should have, invested more, or something like that. If it resonates, it does. But this feeling right here of, I want to say inadequacy, this feeling of, this is what I get from this. It feels like a card where someone feels inadequate, like they're not worthy enough, they haven't done enough, they haven't gained enough, they haven't learned enough, they haven't moved forward in job enough, they haven't, they don't have the spoons, as they say, to be with somebody or to take that job. But this energy is part of that armor and that mask that we wear, and a part of the burden that we carry when we take, what society or media or cultures, all these things that press upon us, that put us in this self-doubt. This is what you kind of have to pull yourself out of. This is that moment, this dark moment in truth where you're like, am I living for myself? Or am I living so that everyone else in the world can view me and say they are a productive person in society? Or am I working and living for myself? This really feels like someone feeling like they're not up to snuff per media standards, per society standards. And I'm getting a lot like, I should be making more money. I should have this job. I should be married by now. I should have had kids by now. Or why haven't I found somebody? Why have I not found the person that I'm supposed to be with? Like, all of these things that society says, pressing them on people to keep them in a box. This is something that, collective, you might be dealing with. I'm going to get two more. Then we have talking into the void, texting, no reply, and left hanging. Okay, so right here, when I was talking about, why shouldn't I have said something? Why shouldn't I have done something? For some of you, this has to be why did I not say how I felt? Why did I lie to them? Why did they ghost me? Why did I ghost them? These are questions that you're asking when it says talking into the void. It says talking into the void. I don't think so. To me, it feels like you're talking into the universe or to your higher self, like quite literally asking your higher self, why am I doing this? And when you're having this dark night of the soul, when you're going through this is your soul answering you back, being like, the reason why this happened is because all of this shit that you keep on your back, all the expectations of everyone else, all the structures that society says you need to do, the mask that you wear, the armor that you put up to keep yourself from being vulnerable. Do you want to change that? Do you want to feel not like weighted down? That's when the truth has to come out. What is it that makes you happy? What is it that you're lying to yourself about? What is it that you know that you could work on that would set you free? You are the maestro of your own destiny. You're writing your story every single day. And that's what I love about how we are as humans. We can go to sleep and wake up the next day and decide, this is the day that I'm going to make this change. And if life gets in the way or you falter a little bit, don't beat yourself up. Be like, okay, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to do it. You get a chance to start, to course correct, to do that self-inventory every single day. So it isn't, for me, it isn't that, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, the regrets, the fears, the guilts, that you're talking to the void. It's like you're asking your higher self, how can I shake this shit off of my back? How can I feel better about myself? How can I call in my abundance? Dark night of the soul. This is the moment in which you have to recognize what needs to change within you. And not change like who you are, but change like shaking off the armor, the mask, the pressures that other people say that you should be married, you should have kids, you should have this job, you should be making this amount of money. And that's all noise. What is it that you want to do with your life, with your heart, with your love? Oh, one card wanted to come out. Do I want to? Okay, no, we're going to keep going. Never really over. Lingering energy, soul tie, no closure. Okay. For those of you, like I said, if it has to do with relationship, you can feel this person around you. I mean, look at this picture. This person looks really sad. Sorry about the glare. Really sad. But everywhere they go, they feel the energy of connection here and there. Something is telling me that, Divine Feminines, you've been, okay, let me make sure I say this correctly. You've not been trying to think about them. It's not like you sit in your at home or on your couch or on your bed and you're just like thinking about them. This comes unbidden to you. You're at work. They pop into your head. You're having a shower. They pop into your head. You're cooking dinner. They pop into your head. You're walking the dog or feeding the cat or whatever, feeding the fish. They pop into your head. No rhyme or reason as to why they're popping into your head, but you are constantly reminded that they're there. Remember when I was saying the Hierophant energy, this might be indicative of like a relationship, high spiritual connection, soulmate, twin flame. Only you would know what that person means to you. This is confirmation that I feel like you've been getting the message that their energy is around you. That maybe you've been dreaming about them. Maybe this has a lot to do with the regret too. The regret that you've been feeling like maybe I should have said something. Maybe I should have acted sooner. And talking that out. I'm seeing someone laying on their bed looking up at the ceiling or looking at a ceiling fan and just kind of going over like, why did I do this? Why didn't I say this? I should have responded. Why did they ghost me or why did I ghost them? And this energy is constantly on loop. Hold on. I thought I would wrap it up right here, but this feels too open-ended for me. So let me get another card deck. Specifically, I feel like, and this part would be for those that this message resonates for them in a romantic way. This has something to do with a connection with somebody. I'm being very strongly guided that this energy right here, there's something that needs to be said. Something that needs to be said. Hold on. Let me... Oh, I'm going to use my Twin Flame Messages deck. Hold on. Oh, this is a plot twist. I was ready to end this reading right here, but we're just going to go ahead and move forward. Alrighty. First message. I thought a lot about you lately. Yeah. Oh, man, this feels heavy. It's making my chest feel tight. What messages need to come through? I'm not the same person that you remember. Have they gone through the dark night of the soul? Are they recognizing? Is this what we're talking about? Is this what we're talking? They're recognizing that some truths need to come out, that some things need to be addressed, that they recognize where they excel and where they need work, and that the realization, this Knight of Swords, the realization was hitting them like a ton of bricks. Or maybe for you, it was your own realization hitting you with like a ton of bricks because you've been thinking about them a lot lately, and you know that you're not the same person that they knew before because you are, aligning yourself to a soul's path. Take it as it resonates. 2 more. We will be together again. Dark night of the soul, up-leveling energy, truth coming to light. Is this everything that you're going through right now? Feels very strongly that these are like the last little bits of these lessons that you're learning together, you collective, or the person you're connected with, before they're, I'm going to say, okay, I'll say it. It feels like you're getting closer to union. Like this person and you are getting close because you're both, it feels like you're both learning the lesson. Whatever lessons that you need to about self-love, about self-betterment, removing yourselves from expectations of others, not being hard on yourself, but also recognizing where work needs to be done. Okay, 1 more. I should have been more honest with you about how I was feeling at the time. Truth coming to light. The truth, when it finally comes through, is going to come in like a ton of bricks. Is this person going to contact you? Are you going to contact your person? The cards can't tell me that. That is entirely up to you, because both you, collective, and those that you're connected with, are the maestros of your own destiny. Remember I said there are 2 paths. You can take the path that you've always taken, and it kind of puts you almost on like a roundabout or like a city tour. You keep seeing the same things over and over again, or the same relationships keep happening, or the same experiences keep happening, because you haven't changed anything. So why would it be different? But when you change something and you go off-road, when you're hiking up the hill on like a less trodden path, you get to that vista point. You get to that beautiful clearing on the mountain. You get a wonderful view of nature. The payoff is it's hard to go up that hill. Got a lot of switchbacks. You might stumble. You might fall. You might scrape your knee, but you persevere. You keep going. Resilience. Until you get to the point where There's magnificence. The vista is clear. All of a sudden, it's just super clear to you. You sit there and you enjoy, and then the path from that point on is clear. And you know what you're supposed to do. This still feels a little open-ended, but I'm being told not to pull any more cards because this is something that needs to sit in someone's mind and marinate. What are you going to do? I'm being told use your intuition. Listen to your heart. Listen to your soul. Be kind to yourself, but also be honest. That's the reading for today. If you like the way that I read, I really, really would appreciate like, sharings, and subscribes because it helps my teeny tiny little tiny tarot channel reach other people. Maybe there's a message that they need to hear. And I can't do any of this without you. You all bring your energy forward and you say a message that needs to be said. And I see it in the cards and I present it. So thank you so much for being here. And that's it. So this is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel and I will see you at the next reading.